Hey, this is Almighty Oracle at Gotham Central's Comics and Collectibles here in Mississauga. Join me for the weekly review of what's new. Last Saturday was local comic shop day, and funny enough, I missed out on it. It completely escaped my radar. I had no idea. Therefore, I could have come in here, but luckily there are ample copies of this. The Forevers by Black Mass Studios. As you can see, mini comic. Probably going to be worth more than what you see here. Boom released their WWE exclusive pack because they had their one shot last week. Then, now, forever, going to second print. I don't know specifically what's in here, but by the feel of it, 3-4 books and most likely some lithograph or mini poster. This one, because now Marvel has declared it its flagship title, and it did well enough in sales to prove so. Neil Adams cover, hotly sought after. Instead of a treasury-sized edition this year, at least there's EMPRESS has released Invader Zim as a confidential dossier. And Outcast getting the attention that it has. Beautiful hardcover. And finally, back to EMPRESS. Number 2, considering the first one came out last year, Rick and Morty. The return of the team behind Tiny Titans Art Baltazar and Franco, having 3 covers this week. One featuring the Trinity, another with the League, and lastly a blank cover so you can get favorite artist to design it. Marvel Disney XD continues with their adaptations of their animated series. The current issue of Ultimate Spider-Man with the storyline The Sinister Six, and coincidentally 5 Spider-Man issue number 5. From IDW, for those real young or more innocent, we have Strawberry Shortcake, 2 covers, take your pick. We also have from IDW, tying into a few weeks ago, the history of comic books. It says here a subcover, but just from looking at it, cave paintings, which is of course the original art form for man. Humankind. Elf Quest, an ongoing series by the originators from the late 70s, now under Dark Horse as well. Lumberjanes, a fave among Boom Studios, already at issue 32, almost into its 3rd year of existence, and also having wrapped up their crossover with Gotham Academy. IDW has the properties for Disney reprinted material from many decades back, a new mini Donald Quest, and lastly something a little more irreverent for those of you who like something more outrageous from IDW. I think you're going to understand what the title is. Going from the humorous and innocent to the more horrific and gory, Harrow County, I believe it's optioned to be a TV series. Excellent horror from Dark Horse. Outcast, already a TV series by Robert Kirkman, approaching the 25 issue mark, therefore almost 2 years. And I just read a few days back that in February, Image is going to be celebrating their 25th anniversary. Therefore, the next storyline will be 25 cents, 1 single quarter. This is the same author as The Walking Dead and Invincible, and not coincidentally, those 2 books will also be 25 cents. Not expensive. Godzilla, Rage Against Time. This is also a surprise hit for IDW. Low print, however, they sell out and there's enough fan base for that. The Goddamned, quite violent, quite gritty, gory, etc. Featuring the story of the 2 original brothers, Cain and Abel. It's on the shelves again after a hiatus. This one, another book that's hard to find, numbers 1 and 2. I seriously had to hunt them down, and I wasn't really interested at first, but after talking to a fellow collector, he piqued my interest. The 3rd of 5, based on a novel from the 60s. Mark Miller's EMPRESS, number 7, final issue in the run. Typical of him in that he only writes a few, 6, 7, 8 max, and I think that's really good because it's always better to go out with a bang than with a whimper. And anything this man touches piques interest among the studios. So I wouldn't be surprised if at some point we're going to see something on the small screen or the big screen. And from Chapter House, our own hero, Captain Canuck, in the background. former heartthrob Jason Priestley from 90210, and if you didn't know, he is Canadian, playing the villain, Mr. Gold. Leave it to anyone who's in marketing, because you really got to have the knack, the brains to sell your products. Bombshells this week, Killer Frost. There's a local comic shop day version, very similar to this one. But tonight on The Flash, Caitlin Snow embraces her evil side. And also from the Bombshell line, you know how much I love this one, but also Supergirl airing Mondays on the CW. Both quite neat representations of this alternate timeline. And here's who they are in the back. Hot Girl coming up. Fans of the Eternal Batman the Animated Series, 3 new figures this week. First one, Mr. Grumpy himself, who's featured on Gotham. I should get paid for these plugs. And 2 requisite villains, one being, or get it, 2, Scarface and the Ventriloquist, but of course, the perennial, the #1 bad boy, Joker. Continuing with the DC products, here's yet another representation of the Clown Prince of Crime, and 2 other incarnations of the Dark Knight. This one in particular looks like Frank Miller, the Dark Knight. For the gamer in you, going back to the 80s, especially with the Nintendo console coming out, even though I know that wasn't what this was, Atari I believe, Q*bert, Cutie, and Street Fighter has 4. Cammy, Balrog, Blanca, and Ryu. I have to admit, the only 2 I know from these are Cammy and this guy. So, not a gamer, and that's fine. Lastly, from Artifacts, Venom, multicolored version. But as you can see down here, to me that looks more like Carnage. But anyone who can read tells you no. But there you have it. Beautifully designed, crafted from the land of the rising sun. Ultimates has a soft relaunch, same writer and same actual team within. Although if you notice carefully, there's just a little #2. I don't know why, to be honest, they're relaunching it, but whatever. Now 2.0, hopefully to get more numbers. That's it for Marvel and their 2 #1s. Every storyline, as I mentioned last week, whatever the title may be, will have a #1 somewhere in the top left or right corner. To me, that's a little misleading, even from a distance. You're going to assume that it's something new. But then there's that little trick of the title beneath. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. She's now apparently the smartest there is. There was some controversy about that in terms of her ousting or beating Tony Stark and Reed Richards, who are now not present within the Marvel Universe. 2 annuals this week, all new X-Men, as well as Amazing Spider-Man. I like this one because it says there, Spidey Goes Global, 3 short stories done in one, whereas this is also just a side story. But I like this cover specifically because it has a yearbook feel to it. Plus, Death of X, #4. This mini is over. Bi-weekly series. Jeff Lemire. What exactly happened to Cyclops? I'm going to spoil it a little bit, but you're going to have to read the rest. Black Bolt obliterates him. And that's only halfway through. So there you go. And also from Marvel this week, the penultimate issue to Civil War #2. There have been some preview pages online featuring Miles, how he's just standing at the Capitol, waiting for Captain America, the inevitable fight, not. But there's another scene in here which really caught my attention. And again, I'm going to spoil it for you because I didn't see it coming. I didn't even look at the credits or whatever. Ulysses travels to the future and meets Old Man Logan. So even though it's David Marquez illustrating, there's some reminiscence of Andrea Sorrentino, especially in the double-page spread when he first arrives in that timeline. Pretty cool. And it's implied that something bad happens to Tony Stark. That's what happens when the books ship late. DC Rebirth. Unfortunately, as of last month, Marvel beat the market share because of Champions #1. Nevertheless, I'm pretty confident that they can regain some ground. Just looking at this cover, anyone around 25, 30 should be able to determine the significance, the homage behind here. And I already had a sneak peek inside. It's not Deathstroke fighting the Man of Steel, just to let you know. This has definitely been a surprise, not a surprise, this has been a top seller for DC that even the execs are content with that because they're expecting higher books like Batman to do better. But considering that this is now a team-up book, a family, spoiler is dealing with the loss of Tim Drake, not knowing exactly what happened to him, unlike us readers. But future issues have shown 2 new members joining the team. Batwoman is going to be getting her own title as well. Therefore, I'm all for the change within. It should happen naturally. Harley Quinn and her bestie slash whatever you want to call her, Ivy, from the same creative team of the New 52. I can't go wrong with her and her popularity. I haven't featured this title yet, but I am a fan of Hal Jordan, and he's my number 3 favorite DC hero. With his team, The Core, a new storyline, Bottle of Light. But I'm hoping to see better after this current storyline, because even I'm telling myself, they gotta move past containing the energies from the entire spectrum. Hellblazer has 2 covers for those of you who feel extra patriotic. If you're an expatriate, I like the one with the Union Jack. But this is the second last issue for the storyline featuring the Swamp Thing. And finally, he appeared on Arrow last week. Not this incarnation, but yet another character with the name. Brand new take, brand new setting. Not really a perfect hero at all, but as you can see, subtitled Southland. Kitty Lit, Scooby-Doo Team Up, now becoming a monthly title, featuring any and all properties of DC and or Hanna-Barbera, one of my favorite action heroes from the 60s, as you can see on the cover, Space Ghost. Out from Image this week, the grand finale to John Layman's and Rob Gilroy's Chew double-sized issue, wrapping up 5 years worth of story. Say goodbye for now. Also this week, Brian Lee O'Malley's Snuck Girl, quite the sleeper hit with the evolving storyline of an Instagrammer or social media player. Trades, hardcover, softcover. I chose 2 from Marvel this week as well as DC. For those of you a fan of the Cosmic and Jim Starlin specifically, he revolutionized the character Mar-Vell when he took over the title. Storyline featuring his struggle against the Mad Titan, guest starring the Avengers, etc. Beautifully bound. I just mentioned Old Man Logan when I was talking about Civil War II. Another new printing of the modern classic. Very, very hard to find single issues. Luckily, I bought them all 8 years ago because look at the name, Mark Miller. And I've read it since then. Fantastic. Last week, I showed you the DC Universe Rebirth hardcover for Local Comic Shop Day, which is not a mistake, but this is now their deluxe edition. As you can see, also square bound with some extra pages within. And I believe 2 weeks back, I showed you a Watchmen, or last week, slipcase, but now we have the noir version. And for those of you that don't know any French, it's the 2 colors that you see here. The book of the week, the hotly anticipated AD, After Death, by Scott Snyder, Jeff Lemire, 3-part mini. When I saw the price, I was wondering why it was a little high. I know they're both high-profile creators, but then holding this in my hands, I realized why. Beautiful touch. A little bigger than your regular comic, magazine format. And of course, can't go wrong with Mr. Lemire's art and Scott's storytelling of the afterlife. And there are some little features in between that give you some insight into what you're reading. So 3 parts ending in January, but definitely worth the money. Thank you yet again. This is Almighty Oracle for Comics Asylum. Subscribe to our YouTube and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. See you in 7 days.